Hey YouTube, it's Valerie reified, your favorite ratty t-shirt wearing trike who uses $5 words way too much here in my once again reorganized apartment because I don't know, I'm weird that way. Also trying to fit new stuff in. I got a dinette. Anyway, a couple of videos ago, I made a little statement on how Rachel Maddow never seems to really say anything about LGBT issues specifically as they pertain to trans folk, or even including them as an aside or a footnote. There's been no reply. I wouldn't expect there to be one. I can understand how Ms. Maddow doesn't want to punch down to someone with 57 views when she's got, ratings that are easily 4 orders of magnitude higher. But that doesn't stop me from mentioning things like this. I was just watching an interesting segment on Countdown on the Don't Ask, Don't Tell um, divergence between Cindy McCain and John McCain. And once again, I thought I'd point out a little instance of the left hand not knowing what the right is doing and put up this little exchange between Keith Olbermann and Dan Choi. Forgive the really crummy sound.
I guess the simple question on that is, how's that possible?
It contradicts everything that the no hate campaign stands for, and it makes no sense. I think when you talk about, as she did in some of the PSA, that bullying leads to the suicides, and when you talk about the legislation that okays the bullying, we have to realize that if you speak one way and then your actions speak in a different way, it's irreconcilable and it's immoral. We have to realize one thing, that there's a loud homophobia on the part of certain people with certain platforms, but there's also a silent homophobia on the part of certain people who have the power but do nothing. Loud homophobia and soft or silent homophobia end up having the same result.
Loud homophobia and silent homophobia end up having the same result. People with the platform to do something who say nothing. Now, I don't know if anyone here sees any parallels between homophobia and transphobia, especially involving Dan Choi, who has been a frequent guest on the Rachel Maddow show. And when Lieutenant Choi is allowed to speak about trans rights, as he does here, it's not just gay and lesbian use as the acronym. LGBT is actually used in this segment. Once again, it's vexing that Keith Olbermann, who is at least presumably straight and non-trans, seems to know a lot more about trans issues and trans rights than Rachel Maddow does. Kudos to Keith. He's doing an excellent and awesome job. By the way, I really like how he's gotten a lot more reasonable in the last few weeks. There's been less of an urge to stick a comment into every single sentence, and yeah, it's been really good. It's good to see those shades of Merle back again. But I digress. So yeah, Rachel, when you say nothing about trans rights, you enable people. You enable people like the Secretary of State-elect in Michigan, who wants birth assignment to be the immutable and only criterion for selecting identification. Not even surgery being allowed to change that little ticky box from F to M or M to F. When you stay silent, you contribute to keeping a population of over 1 million Americans, possibly as high as 7 million Americans, given current estimates, subject to suicide and rape and murder, and we expect more from you. We expect more from someone who knows more about these issues. And your silence speaks volumes.